Good afternoon. This is the regular meeting of the Board of the County Commissioners, March 25th. Let us start with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Riddell?
Here.
Commissioner Moore?
Here.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Here.
We have a quorum. Under resolutions, number 1, investments.
Move to approve. Second.
That's not the right one.
Maybe it's not the right one.
That's from last week. This is the right
Oh,
one.
here's investments. It has only 3.
It's only got 3 for this week.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we have.
Yeah, so.
Okay,
He just
Victor.
pulled up the last one.
Well, can you put it up on, can you put it on the screen, Victor? Thanks.
There we go.
Yeah, my motion still stands the same.
Any further discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 2, appropriations.
Let's see if, oh, wait a minute. I don't think it's the,
No, next one, Victor. That's
No.
okay.
no, but it didn't look like it was the,
The right one either.
mm-mm. Yep, there we go.
There we
it is.
go.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes. Casey, could you give us a little background on item number 5, the Mars board?
Yeah, so with number 5, this is again this a fairly regular occurrence with the Mars board that as their year solidifies, as their monies come in or whatnot, they adjust their budgets to fit their program revenues that are coming in. So this is essentially that sort of adjustment to their budget, aligning their budgets with the with the programs that are occurring in this fiscal year.
Okay. Could you, give us some history? That's, the Mars board is funded with basically their own levy, but they still required to do their reporting through us?
Yes, that's correct. They every year their annual appropriations come with you guys. You guys will approve their annual budgets, and any types of budget adjustments such as this transfers they can do in house, but any sort of adjustments such as this, appropriating, de-appropriating, revenue adjustments, those still flow through our office.
Okay, very good.
And item number 6. Even though we've already appropriated money, this is more for,
So yes, so number 6, this deals with the design work at the for the new jail. So this is again appropriating the money into that Q construction budget in order to fund those professional services, those engineering, architectural services.
Yeah, that's the site work that we
Yeah.
made a resolution on at the last
Right.
meeting, so.
Yeah. So this is essentially putting that money in place in the budget. Like you guys approve the work to, yeah.
Very
do
good.
we have any timeframes, Mr. County Administrator? In regards to, maybe we could have a public presentation on where they're at, an update, so we can start discussing the funding of this project?
They're actually, what the DLZ is doing right now with this funding is going to make sure that where we're thinking about put the jail, which is behind the jail that's out there now, they have to do the compaction and all those reports in order to make sure that that's the place where it can go, and we're not going to have to go anyplace else. So when that testing's done, I would assume, Jeff, help me here, if they get it started right away, we're talking about a month? I don't know.
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks for this phase of it. They're gonna do soil borings to determine you know, how big foundations need to be in order to support the building and all that kind of stuff. Plus they'll look and make sure that they don't run into things like an underwater stream. You know, those kinds of things, you know, they gotta make sure that, you know, where we're gonna put the building is where, like, you said it pretty well, that here's where we wanna put it, they're gonna confirm that we
Right.
can.
And then to further answer the question, I mean, they met with the jail staff, DLZ did, the sheriff, and the entire group out there, to see whether that met the criteria that they would like to see. And so we're at that level right now. I would assume that they will be done with that, and with the idea if the jail can go back where behind the jail that is now, if that works, I would think that we would be back here in May. I think we have to be there in June. When do we have to be if it's a sales tax?
Probably mid-June to mid-July.
Then we're looking at May for the report back out.
Okay.
And sooner than that, I mean, we'll get information from the DLZ meeting and the jail staff here in the next week or so. And I have a preliminary report, but it's,
Oh, that's okay. Well, wait, I just thought since we're talking about it, I just want to make sure. You know,
no, we're on
even-
track.
Even though it's March, I know the window is extremely small for us to.
Yeah.
We're on track, and DLZ's on track, and I'm thinking that we'll have these really good public conversations in May,
Okay.
so that we can make the ballot this coming November.
Okay.
Yeah, we're supposed to meet in April, aren't we, and make the final decision on the floor plan schematics? That's correct. Okay. What this process allows us to do is, they actually only expect to spend less than $100,000, but this piece of the design phase could actually proceed now, no matter which floor plan we go with.
That is correct.
So we're just trying to move that a little bit parallel so that we pick up some time.
This will also take in a much larger area so that we make sure that there's growth, that we're not infringing on an area that we can't build on. So the jail that we will build, hopefully, will have expansion joints that we can expand into, and we want to make sure that that land too would be okay to build on down the road, so that we're not blamed for saying we put a jail here and there's that underground river right next to where we're going to expand.
Right. And again, we hope the jail doesn't have to expand, because that means bad things are happening, more of them, but we want to make sure we don't duplicate where we're at now, which is expanding the jail the wrong way.
Anything further?
That's it.
Commissioner Riddell,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 3, transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 4, advances, repayments, there were none. Number 5, requisitions.
Page 2.
Okay, let me look at 2 because I have an older one. Well, there shouldn't be, but.
Oh, yours says
Oh,
March 25,
oh,
right?
you know what I had? Okay. Yep. Let me see here. So we're on page 2 of 4.
Right?
Okay.
Victor, can we have page 3? And page 4. Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Just one kind of a small note, but you'll see that we had to pay $6,500 to the state of Ohio for elevator permits, so we pay our fees just like everybody else.
And I have a small note here. CBCF sealed mattresses, or sealed foam mattresses, those are so that contraband can't be stuffed into the side of the mattress, and they were also worn out for the jail. Just so you know, $71,000 worth.
Anything further? Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Number 6, travel.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 7, bills.
And we have 5 pages of bills. We have page 2, Victor. Okay, that's the general fund bills. Page 3, special revenue funds. Page 4. And page 5.
A motion to approve?
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 8, county commissioners may recess an executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, along with any other matters as specifically identified by motion in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G 1 through 8. Is there executive session today?
No.
Move to approve the personnel summary sheet.
Posted.
Second?
Discussion.
I don't know if since we have our 911 director here, if you'd like to give an update on the hiring? Just to let everybody know, we had our first public meeting about an hour ago.
Up until 5 minutes before.
Well,
the
5
meeting.
minutes before we got here, because they've changed the laws in regards to 911. So maybe you could give us an update on what's happening.
This hire is a new trainee for dispatch in the 911 center. We have 2 other ones that were approved at the last meeting, I believe, and they're all starting on April 7th.
You want to give an update on why we're having our meetings, like with the change in the ORC? Or do you want to?
Because it's required.
Well, the board was full of about
Yeah,
42 board members beforehand.
Yeah, the Ohio Revised Code that governs 911 dispatch and emergency services, they changed the law about a year and a half ago, and we are now in compliance with the law and our new board. Because of the size of our county, because we only operate a PSAP, one regional PSAP, the board of the 911 advisory committee is the county commissioners. It used to consist of a number of people from different agencies in the county, and they changed that so that it would be more reflective of how the agency is funded and how it's basically managed.
Okay. Thank you.
And would you, it was a conversation a year or 2 back. Could you tell us where we're at with staffing now?
Yes, we now have 31 full-time dispatchers, 1 in training, 3 more starting in training on April 7th. We do lose people. It sounds like we hire a lot, but they don't all make it through training, and they don't all figure out that it's the right job for them. So we have lost a few. We've got 4 floor supervisors, which supervise our shifts 24 hours a day. We've got 2 communications supervisors, warrant supervisor, deputy director, myself, and 5 warrants clerks. Although we just lost one of those too, so we'll be hiring another one too. Yes, and as of June 1st, The center will go to 12-hour shifts. We'll have one platoon we'll have 4 platoons. Platoon A and Platoon B will be working day shift. One will work 3 days a week, the other work 4 days a week, and then the opposite week they would switch. So every other weekend will be a 3-day weekend. And then the Platoon C and the Platoon D will be working the 7A or 7P to 7A, which is a night shift, overnight shift. And the same thing will happen with them. They'll work 3 days one week, 4 days the next week. And then they switch the opposite week. So every other weekend is a 3-day weekend for them. We think it'll improve the quality of life. We'll keep people a lot longer, and they'll be able to spend more time with their family and not have as much commuting time by going 12-hour shifts. We didn't invent this. This is actually being done by most PSAPs in the state are going to 12-hour shifts, and they've found that they've got a much more healthy work environment and much better for the employees too.
How many more staff members do you need, or dispatchers, to get to where you need to be?
Our goal is to get to 40 communications dispatchers. Four platoons, as we said, with 10 on each platoon.
So we need help still.
We've been doing a good job of recruiting. We've actually done a nice job, Mr. Gallagher, and I think that what we did last year with the new collective bargaining agreement has helped us attract more people too, more quality people. We've had people come from other agencies, although we've had some luck with that and not some luck with others, because sometimes coming from another agency, you got a lot of bad habits. They have to be weaned out of them before we can get them on the floor. But we certainly look at people with experience because they know what the job entails and they're a better risk.
Great job.
Yep.
We are also in the process right now of converting to this Motorola 7500 consoles. We've gone through training on them. We have implementation is expected between the beginning to mid-May to go 100% conversion to the 7500 consoles for Motorola, which are much more efficient in getting information out to the public or to our safety forces.
Oh, I want to
That's
say thank
about
you.
all I have.
No,
Unless
you're doing a fantastic job considering 3 years ago. You did a great job fixing something that needed to be fixed, and it's going to continually get better, I can tell.
we have a very good staff, Commissioner. I think
Yeah.
I credit the people that work with me.
Anything further?
Nope.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Public comment on agenda items. I think that was just
Nope.
public comment, correct?
Nope.
Okay. Is there any old business? No? Board business, number 9, approve and waive the reading of the County Commissioners meeting minutes of March 14th, 2025.
Move to waive, oh no, wait, sorry. Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Number 10, authorizing the County of Lorain, Ohio to approve the issuance of hospital facilities revenue bonds of the County of Allen, Ohio, and authorizing other documents in connection with the issuance of such bonds. And Attorney Reginald Staples is here too.
Pardon?
Attorney Reginald Staples is here too.
Oh, good.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Does
Now
it-
discussion.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
sir. Could you take the podium, please?
Well, good afternoon. It's a pleasure and honor to be before the commission today. My name is Reginald Staples. I'm an attorney and a partner with the law firm of Dinsmore & Scholl in Cincinnati, Ohio. We are bond counsel for Bon Secours Mercy Health, and as is stated in the resolution before the commission today for consideration, we are doing a fairly sizable deal here in Ohio, a bond issuance that will be issued by the County of Allen for the benefit of Mercy Health. The not to exceed amount for the total issuance for Ohio is $942 million. Roughly $38 million of that is attributable to facilities here in Lorain County. The bond issue, the proceeds of the bond issue rather, will be used for a few, purposes. One would be to refund existing debt issued by the health system. Then number 2 would be to provide reimbursement for capital expenditures that have been made by the hospital system to various facilities throughout Ohio, including facilities here in Lorain County. Probably the two most important things you'd want to hear from me are that the bonds are not a debt of Lorain County, nor is Lorain County on the hook to pay the bonds. So the hospital system is solely responsible for payment of debt service on the bonds. So we utilize Allen County as an issuer because that gives the hospital system the ability to take advantage of tax-exempt financing, which they cannot do without a political subdivision willing to do that for them. We're here to provide approval for the use of those proceeds here in Lorain County. Last week, I believe it was on Wednesday, we had a public hearing, which is step one, which we held at the Port Authority in the room right next door. And step two is for this commission to consider and pass a resolution approving not only the issuance of the bonds for Allen County, but the use of those proceeds here in Lorain County. So with that, I'll stop and see if there are any questions.
Questions?
How much did you say was being used in our county? You said
Roughly 38 million.
38 million?
Yeah, not to exceed. That could be a little bit smaller once we have a final plan of finance, but we sized the deal for Ohio at least to be 942 million, but it'll likely be a little bit lower once we have the final plan of finance solidified.
So Lorain County Port Authority is participating in how much of it? Of the 942?
Lorain County just participated in the sense of they held the public hearing on behalf of the county, but for purposes of the entire county with Mercy Health Facilities, I think the total not to exceed is 38 million.
Okay.
I like the part that says it's not a debt of Lorain County.
I think that's the best part I say when I go to commission meetings. So no, it's not a debt. No, you're not on the hook to pay it all. We just need, from a federal tax perspective, approval from each local county.
So you don't need our backing
No,
for the
no, absolutely not.
tax, okay.
Nope.
Very good.
Anything?
Appreciate you driving all the way.
Oh, no, happy to. This is my second trip. I was here last week. I've never been to Lorain County
Oh,
until last week, so happy to get out of Cincinnati and come up here for a nice drive. So
that's, yeah. Yeah, I used to live down there in Cincinnati, then I
Yep.
lived in Lima, which is where this is all out of. Now I'm
Yeah.
here, so you know what?
there you go.
It's close to the lake. You need to see Lake Erie before you go back.
Right.
Don't forget to stop at Lake Erie.
Lake Erie, that's right. That's right.
Don't go swimming right now.
No, go swimming, no swimming. All right.
Well, no, when I lived there, they would sell lakefront property down in northern Kentucky, and it was just a mud pond, and we call them up here. So, we appreciate you coming on out.
No, thank you. I appreciate
Thanks.
all your help and your willingness to partner with us on this. So thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to get going, you don't have to wait for the whole meeting. Yeah,
Nice 4-hour drive.
yeah, I've done it.
Not too bad.
Yeah. Thank you again.
Under Job and Family Services, 11, amend Resolution 24-560 adopted September 10th of 24, authorizing Lorain County Safe Harbor to provide shelter for domestic violence victims and domestic violence victim families in Lorain County using TANF and Title 20 funds. Amendment is to increase the contract by $320,000 for the total contract amount not to exceed $512,500, and it will be paid from the TANF account.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Under Children's Services, 12, authorize and rescind various personnel in Children's Services Department to utilize the agency's MasterCard for the year 2025 not to exceed $2,500 in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code and their permissible policy.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Under the Engineer, 13, authorize payment in the amount of $79,560 to the City of Amherst in accordance with the cooperation agreement for the Middle Ridge Road resurfacing project, which includes the replacement of Bridge 0423. The City of Amherst utilized the funds from an application to Ohio Public Works Commission to pay for 74% of the total project cost, and the county would provide the remaining 26%, or $79,560, for the bridge replacement, and this will be paid from the Engineer Bridge Project account.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
14, award and enter a contract with RMH Concrete and Foundations of Collins, Ohio, in the amount of $224,963.35 for the Safe Routes to School project in Lorain County. 5 bids were received on March 10th, this being the most responsive complying with specifications. Work consists of constructing a 5-foot wide sidewalk and ADA compliant curb ramps along the east and south sides of North Ridge Road from Cooper Foster Road Park Road to Clearview High School. Issue notice to proceed upon authorization from Lorain County Engineers Office, and work will be completed on or before September 30th of 2025. ODOT will be providing funding in the amount of $223,688.35. Remaining $1,275 will be provided by the engineer project account.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, just want to remind folks that have been watching, this was brought before the commission some meetings ago, and there was some questions, and I understand, Bob, that you met with the residents that had questions about where the sidewalks were gonna be?
Yeah, we explained, how we came up with what we did. I think everyone left, at least, their voices were heard, and they understood what we were doing to get the project done.
Very good.
Anything further? Commissioner Dell?
Aye?
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
15, award and enter in contract with Carvel Companies, Inc. of Stowe, Ohio, in the amount of $555,525 for the Baumhart Road resurfacing project in Lorain County. 7 bids were received on March 11th, this being the most responsive complying with specifications. Work consists of resurfacing Baumhart Road from Whitsley Road to the City of Lorain's Southern Corporation line. Issue notice to proceed upon full execution of the contract. Authorizing work to begin upon authorization from Lorain County Engineers Office, and work to be completed on or before August 30th of 25. Funds will be provided by ODOT and OPWC.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
16, award and enter in a contract with Erie Blacktop, Inc. of Sandusky, Ohio, in the amount of $1,109,219.35 for the West Ridge Road resurfacing project in Lorain County. 7 bids were received on March 11th, this being the most responsive complying with specifications. Work consists of resurfacing West Ridge Road from Russia Road to State Route 113. Issue notice to proceed upon full execution of the contract, authorizing work to begin upon authorization from County Engineers Office, and work be completed on or before August 30th of 25. Funds will be provided by ODOT and OPWC.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, we received several phone calls from people on West Ridge Road concerning the other part of West Ridge Road. And we did confirm with the engineer's office that that paving of that section will be in future programming. But the project has been broken up into several phases, and this is the first.
Anything further? Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
17, finding that public convenience and welfare requires resurfacing a nickel plate diagonal road from State Route 303 to Parsons Road in Grange Township. Authorize county engineer to advertise for bids in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 5555.06.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, Bob, we're gonna be talking about the permissive tax. We just passed, 5 issues. Were any of these would have been tied to any, in regards to any of those that we're trying to do here next month when we start having our meetings?
Every one of these projects, commissioners, has a local share, except for the sidewalk. That's a
Mhm.
different program, but as a minimum, every one of those, we'd have to come up with 20% minimum.
And that's where that permissive tax would help out with all these projects, correct?
And then the other one, like Parsons Road, there's no federal funds for that, so we're using OPWC, we leverage our money against that. So again, for the local match is important.
Okay, and that's what we're gonna be talking about with permissive tax. How about issue 2? Would you say that this has something to do with that?
Yeah, against a lot of these now, like I said, to save our money, we use OPWC money as
Yep.
a local match. And I remind everyone, that's on the ballot in May, we cannot afford to lose that,
Yep.
Pretty much every local government in the state of Ohio relies on that.
Well, yeah, it doesn't increase your tax, it doesn't reduce your tax, but we need it passed, right?
And if it fails, your taxes will not go down.
No, they will not. I'm sorry, but I had to do a cheap commercial plug there.
The only risk is to lose our highways and all
Well,
the matching
We
funds.
won't have the money to, yeah.
Yep.
And yes, that's the warm and fuzzy part of it, but the reality is, the reason your taxes won't change is the bond issue is just borrowing on future revenue from the state of Ohio so that they can do more bigger projects up front. So all that is the main benefit for us is that this forces the legislature to allocate this much money to construction highway projects in the state of Ohio. If we vote the bond issue down, then that money would be available to go to whatever other use. It's not gonna reduce taxes, but that money, instead of going to the roads, would go to something else. And we wanna see to it that the legislature, devotes a part of their budget every year to the roads and highways, and the process of doing that is this bond issue too.
Cover it pretty good there, Bob?
Yeah, the only thing is that what's nice about the OPWC program, it's just for local programs. Like, you know, ODOT has its own interstate and state highway system. OPWC is for local governments to use for their infrastructure.
Good point, thank you.
Thanks.
Anything further?
Nope.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Dow?
Aye.
County Administrator?
Thank you. Commissioners, a few weeks ago, I announced that we had reintroduced the Lead Safe Ohio program, and we did a press release on March 10th with the expectation of receiving more pre-applications. And so I'm reporting to you today that as of yesterday, Kleinfelder, who manages the program for us, received 35 new applications. That does not include their meeting with Elyria, the city of Elyria. Elyria claims that they have at least 30 more applications. So we're looking at hopefully at least 65, and the county public health has applications as well. So right now, we're at about 65 plus, and today Garvin continued in his role in outreach and made a presentation to at least 50 other individuals who may be eligible or know folks who would be eligible to participate in the program. We've put a deadline of March 31st to receive all pre-applications in through Kleinfelder. The reason we did that is we have to have the money spent right now through February 28th of 26, and the expectation is we have to get these folks pre-qualified, qualified, and get the work going. If things, well, actually where we are now, we are oversubscribed, assuming a number of these folks go through the process and do qualify. With that, April 1st, I plan on reaching out to the Ohio Department of Development and asking for more money. We know that there are counties throughout the state who are not spending their money, and I'm going to ask them to allocate that money to us based on the responses we've received in Lorain County. So that's the update. After April 1st, I'll give you a final number of pre-applications, and I'll give you an update on my conversations with the state on receiving more money.
Are we making any more progress on contractors to bid on
Yes.
these?
Yeah, so, well, yes. On these, don't know if we'll be able to meet that deadline, but yes. So we are working on a program internally insofar as being able to identify trades. We have lists, and so not to go into too much detail, but we are using the lists right now of the other political subdivisions in the county that have contractors working for them as our initial outreach. We have about 400 that we've identified that do business with political subdivisions. They might not all qualify for this type of work, but they do work for political subdivisions. And then we're working on identifying specific industries that would work on projects like this. Once we have that list, we're going to outreach to them. And then we've already had a conversation with Kleinfelder, the same company that manages the Lead Safe Ohio program. We are planning on having at least 2 events where we'll invite individual, organizations, businesses to present. To hear our presentation on what it takes to qualify and do business with the county. Here's the process. Those that move through with Kleinfelder and go through their qualification process clearly will be qualified to do business directly with the county. Those that for whatever reason choose either not to engage, we're going to do a survey to find out why. And those that do engage but don't qualify for various reasons, bonding, whatever their qualification deficiencies may be, we're going to point them in the right direction to help them become more qualified so that they can do business with the county. So we're working on that. The dates are soon to be released. We're probably looking at mid-April, mid to late April to have this first meeting with these identified industries.
Positive movement, thank you.
We're trying, thank you.
Question, did I understand correctly when we approved our grant back a year or so ago, that some of these funds can be used for the training and certification of contractors if they step up and want to become that and work on our projects?
I will research that. I believe the answer is yes, but I will confirm that.
Well, I would hope that if we have local contractors that have the desire, that we would streamline the means of getting them certified so that they can bid.
I'll confirm that.
Thank you.
I want to add to that comment, we're streamlining the way that they get paid. It's important
wasn't
that
gonna
if
bring
you
that
do
up
the
yet,
work,
no.
you don't wait 6 months to get the money. So honestly, Casey and working with the auditor's department and through Jessica and his team we certainly want to pay the bills timely, and because we all need money to spend, we have to pay our employees. So these contractors, it's one of the complaints, but we're really working towards that. And I know Dave and Casey are working very closely with the auditor's office to make sure that we can move this process as quickly and get the contractors paid so their employees, so they can stay in business and their employees get paid.
Yeah.
Saying that, moving forward, tomorrow is the Transit Roundtable at the Transportation Center. It's tomorrow, March 26th, at 5:30 to 7:30 at the Transportation Center. And since I've been here in 2 years, the first time we've really had a meeting over there. It's a beautiful building. It's one that we're going to, that you all, as the commissioners, have instructed us to start using. And we're doing that, and it is a beautiful building that was done, I don't know how many years ago, but let's hopefully the Transit Roundtable people that were invited, and if you're not invited, please come. Again, then March 27th at the Transportation Center, there'll be one during the day from 2 to 4, again at the Transportation Center. So if you can't make tomorrow night, the 27th, 2 to 4. And finalizing my report, the long-awaited tower sites, Northern Ohio Water out on Baumhart Road has the starting and construction out there will be April 21st. And French Creek in Sheffield Village, French Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant, the start of construction on that one will be April 14th, that week. So the week of the 14th, week of the 21st, the construction will be started on the those two remaining towers out there that we were waiting for the leases and got it all worked out. And hopefully the construction goes smoothly. That completes my report.
Well, in regards to the transportation roundtable discussion, just to be clear, there's communities such as Oberlin and Avon that are really and would love to participate in the VIA program. But this one here is also, if you are, one of the three watching us, this is really a meeting for a roundtable discussion for the private sector that is looking for ways to alleviate their labor shortages, maybe because of transportation. As we heard through the strategic plan, transportation is key. So we're hoping, and I heard we do have quite a few people attending that is reserved, but you don't have to reserve. I'd like to see as many people from the private sector come out and at least listen, and we'd like to listen to you too on what can work, because 25 years of a fixed route system did not. And the VIA program is really a huge success, but in order to keep it a success, we're gonna have to have a lot more partnerships. So I'm hoping that we do get a lot of participation in the next 2 days so we can move forward. Because Casey's got some budget crunching to do here for the next budget for next
Well,
year.
and Karen, assistant administrator, and I wish she were here because she's so passionate with transportation, but she had something to come up this afternoon and she couldn't. I'm not as passionate about it as she is. She's really passionate. And her staff, I mean, not her staff, but the transit staff, they've worked hard to get it to this point, and honestly, let's hope that it is a success in these meetings, and not only can the community step up, but let's see if the industry can step up. That completes my report.
Well, in that vein, again, a thank you to the R.W. Beckett Corporation, because they had a rideshare program that that they premiered underneath the NOACA flag for fuel economy and environment and so forth. And that model has worked very well to them. So when you talk about getting people from where they live to where they need to be to work, the information we achieved, that we got from the Beckett Company was very important to how we take a look at and design the next Provia system.
Well, not only that, it's also your hospital systems and even
Yes.
your groceries, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be just private business. It could be other avenues that, hopefully we can get them to participate, because the more partnerships, the more successful we can be. Thanks.
And just one other request, don't be afraid to bring us some pictures of those towers going up in the air.
We will. Maybe I'll help them dig the holes out of French Creek. How's that? As part of North Ridgeville.
And we're still on schedule for October, correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good,
Okay.
fantastic.
Okay. The only thing is Thursday, March 27th at 8 a.m. is the Visitors Bureau meeting
That's on the 5th floor in
on the
room
5th floor.
555.
Yep.
Okay.
Board correspondence?
Move to waive the reading of the board correspondence.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
New business?
I have none.
No. Public comment?
Public comment, Brian Baker.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Brian Baker, 49822 Greystone Drive, Brownhelm Township. I guess I was a little bit puzzled when I read this article that came out, that talked about the budget, and it talked about how we did all this planning and all this. Was that none of that planning was done in public, though, is that correct? Because I think I came here, and I was here that day and asked like 6 questions, never got an answer, I do understand that. But it's amazing here is when I see a direct quote here, it says, "We've made necessary decisions with spending, exceptions, revenues, and keeping in the ARPA funds." How are we as residents of Lorain County gonna know where we are at on the budget? Will there be an update on the budget? Will there be anything, or do we have to go the old-fashioned way, go to the auditor, go to the treasurer, and figure all this out ourselves? Because we're talking about supposedly tighten up the budget, and I know Commissioner Gallagher, you're brand new. You should really pay attention to this, because none of them have been in public the last 2.5 years. None of them. So the public doesn't know anything, and then you're gonna go out and you're gonna say, I need a 0.25% sales tax for more revenue for this. But nobody knows what the revenue is, nobody knows what the end goal is. And I think you just got another $4.5 million in the reevaluation of taxes, correct? So was that included in the 86 million to balance the budget? Plus we carried over another 6 million. So I'd guess is, or I'd ask, where can I go get this information now? And then my second question would be, are we gonna give updates on the budget as we go through the year? Because people should know what they're gonna vote on if they're gonna start cutting their services and you're gonna ask for no money. So I know you're probably not gonna give me an answer tonight, because that's what you do every time I come up here. But I will figure out how to get this information, and if I gotta put it out in the paper so people understand it, it should be done public. The law is pretty simple how it's supposed to be done, and it's not been done like this. Dave, you know that. When you were here, I asked for the same thing that I'm asking for today, and Jeff, I asked for it last year, and we haven't done it. Maybe, Marty, when you get in the center, we might get it, so thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Thank
Brian.
you.
There being no further business before the board, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everybody, for coming in today. Appreciate it.
Anywhere on that one.